In this video, I am going to show you the new science of health. The new science how you can heal yourself by thought alone. Simply put, the new scientific facts will prove you what you may think is science fiction or some old Chinese tradition you see in movies. To show how you can heal yourself from sickness, I have to show first you how you make yourself sick. Because it is very important to understand that your bad habits put you in that state in the first place. And in order for you to prevent that from happening again, you need to learn how you make yourself sick. We have seen and heard everywhere that genes are the cause of our sickness. Bad genes cause these chronic problems. But the new science has shown that this is not the case. Let me show what the new science says. The building block of our life and body is protein. Every cell makes protein except the red blood cells. In order for a cell to make protein, a gene has to be stimulated or regulated. Think about gene as a library of potentials, protein potentials. Our body is made by proteins, which in turn are created by genes, and genes by themselves are stimulated in order for them to make proteins. Then, the question arises, from what are the genes stimulated? In the new research, it is found that the genes are stimulated or regulated by the environment. It is the environment who signals the genes to create diseases or not. Two workers work in the same environment, but one gets sick and one doesn't. So it has not to do with the environment, but with the internal reaction to the environment. So, what signal stimulates the genes is not the environment outside of us, but our internal reaction to the environment. In other words, what stimulates the genes is what chemicals are outside the environment of the cells, or in other words, what emotions are we feeling. When we have negative emotions, they downregulate genes, and this way they produce proteins that in turn build unhealthy organs and body parts. But when we have positive emotions, those positive emotions signal genes in cells to produce healthy proteins that in turn contribute in making healthy body parts. Now the question arises, how can you control your emotions? To better answer that question, let me show you how emotions are produced. The brain can be thought as three brains at one. The first brain is neocortex. This part of the brain is divided in regions. One of those regions is called frontal lobe, which takes 40% of the brain size. Frontal lobe is also called the seat of the consciousness. This part is responsible for activities such as free will, learning, intention, attention, speculation, decision-making, focus, concentration, etc. This is the part of the brain which is responsible for learning new things and having new experiences. So, when we have an experience, when we have a new information inputted in our brain, neurons form synaptic connections together and they form patterns. Studies show that vivid imagination has the same effect in our brain and body as a real experience. So, if we were to think about an idea vividly, we would make new neuron connections. And if they are repetitive thoughts, you would fire the same neurons and the number of neurons firing together will grow. And for you, it would be harder to let go of those thought patterns because of their hardwired neurological patterns. Here comes the function of the second brain, called the mammalian brain, the hormonal brain, but most importantly, it is called the emotional brain. When we have an experience which can be an outside experience or an internal experience, vivid thoughts. It does not matter which. If you think vividly of an experience, or you are having that experience in real life, your frontal lobe is going to have specific neurons firing together based on the experience, and as a result, your second brain is going to produce a chemical. And that chemical is what you call an emotion. If that experience is totally new, the new neurons will form, and those new neurons will start to make new patterns and connect with other old neurons. In other words, we can create by thought alone emotions that we want, which in turn will signal our genes to produce proteins based on our charge of the emotion. If you think positive emotions, then you are going to upregulate genes, which in turn will produce healthy proteins. And those healthy proteins will produce healthy organs, healthy tissues, in general, a healthy body. Now, every part of our body is fully renewed each in a different period cycle. For example, it takes 42 days for the skin to be fully replaced. Some organs take months to be fully renewed, while the full skeleton can take up to 10 years. In other words, we are constantly producing new cells, but it's up to us to decide which kind we produce, healthy ones or sick ones. If we make happy, confident, joyous, hopeful, loving thoughts, those positive thoughts will produce positive emotions, which in turn will make healthy proteins, and those proteins will make healthy cells, and will replace old cells. Those old cells can be healthy cells or cancerous unhealthy cells. It does not matter to our body what it produces. It matters what is signaled to produce. Now, the second brain, or the limbic brain, is also responsible for the autonomic or automatic nervous system. It is responsible that subconsciously to regulate blood sugar level, hormone levels, temperature, respiratory, heart rate, etc. So, when you make chemicals, those chemicals change your body in some way. And if you are able to create that experience of being healed, as is our case, and do that many times, then your body will know how to do it as good as your mind. Now that will be innate in you. It's secondhand, it's easy, it's familiar. You do not need to think about it because it is an unconscious program. When you do this over and over again, you activate the third brain called cerebellum. This is the part of the brain that is responsible for you to develop implicit memories. Implicit memories are formed when you have done something so many times that you don't need to think about it. It is who you are. It is you. Now let us put things in our perspective. We have seen that our stressful emotions produced by our thoughts down-regulate genes and make us sick. Now we need to create thoughts of us being healed. And if you keep your focus in the thought or thoughts of being healed, neurological patterns will keep growing, and those patterns will grow bigger, and those connections will become stronger. And if you continue like this for a long time, then you will be in a state where you will not need to think about it anymore. You are healed. It is who you are. Your body knows how to do it better than you. This is where the third brain is activated. So, to heal our body completely and to maintain that health, we need to make some time for ourselves every day. During this period, we are going to experience our body being healed, and that experience will affect us in our desirable way. Now that we have explained the science behind the healing process by your thought alone, let me show you what to practically do every day in order for you to heal yourself. 1. Sit in a comfortable chair or seat somewhere you feel comfortable. 2. Take deep breaths slowly in and out until you count at least 30 breaths in or out. After you have put yourself in a comfortable position where you are not bothered by anyone and have relaxed yourself by breathing, close your eyes and picture yourself as a completely healed person. Ask yourself what it would look like and what it would feel like if right now I am healed. Respond mentally with images of how it looks like if you were a healed person. Ask yourself, what would you do if you were completely healed? How would you live your life now? Engage for 20 minutes every day into meditating and having the internal experience of you being healed. And repeat it every day at least once. But remember, when you are meditating, see those images of yourself healed and feel as now you are healed. Fully, totally, honestly, and completely. In your thoughts, feel exactly how you would feel if you were now healed. Because this way can you signal your genes to produce healthy proteins. And those healthy proteins will make a new healthy body.
That's all, folks.